Time is now 6:14. Let's bring back in meteorologist Daniel McDonald with a check of your forecast. Daniel?
Yes, Kevin, it looks like we do have some very interesting changes to be made to the forecast here today, especially from just not yesterday, but really the last week or so in general, as we are going to be cranking up the heat quite a bit and seeing those chances for rain diminish quite a bit as well. We're taking a live look here at our Midtown camera where we currently have a little bit of some cloud cover. I think this is going to be moving out quite quickly, and overall the conditions of right now at this time pretty similar to yesterday. We did have some cloud cover. We did have some nearby areas of rain, which I do think that is one of the main differences from at least the start of our day that we'll go over first here. We don't really have any sort of nearby plumes of any sort of moisture like we did near the southeastern corners of our viewing area yesterday, or at least approaching from the north and west. Severe weather this time not quite as close as it was in northwestern Arkansas yesterday, more so on the plains in northeastern and central Kansas, which is resulting here in a little bit of cloud cover locally there on our camera as we just saw. But overall, you can see generally some drier conditions, or I should say clearer conditions, as we're not looking at too many shadows across the region from that cloud cover. And throughout the day, I do think we will end up being at least partly sunny, maybe even more so mostly sunny, as it looks like rain is going to be possible today, but not very likely. Our radar here models hour by hour, not picking up more than just a few very brief stray showers. Yesterday, we did manage to have a decent amount of coverage in those early to mid-afternoon hours for some pop-up showers and storms. Not the case today, tomorrow through Thursday. But that is going to come with the trade-off of the first heat wave of the year really getting into full swing as temperatures are climbing into the lower to middle 90s, and the heat index, the humidity, is making it feel like over 100 degrees for the next several afternoons. We could be talking about a heat index as high as even 105 degrees in some spots, which could even be beginning today, and generally will be correlating this time at least with lower rain chances as we do see the hottest and most humid days ahead. Now, we do have a heat advisory here. Unfortunately, that text is blocking that sort of key, but in orange is a heat advisory. A heat index up to 107 degrees is the official verbiage as used by the National Weather Service. As you can see, that being along our counties here that border the Mississippi River and west into Arkansas. Of course, along the river is where we do usually have some of those locally higher heat indices, but even those of us that are a bit further to the east here in Mississippi and then McNairy and it looks like Hardeman counties in Tennessee, I still think at least 100 degrees is what it will be feeling like. This is going to be the most oppressive day of the year so far, and then we will probably exceed that for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, maybe just a little bit lower than Wednesday, but at least 100 degrees through the start of the weekend, and that will only be marking a return to at least just the last couple of days, which have already been very humid for even these early June standards. So we'll want to make sure we are staying prepared for that, as we do see mostly sunny skies with a few isolated storms possible. Emphasis on isolated today, but with this heat and humidity and the rain chances still lingering a little bit from the last couple of days, we can't totally rule it out, but I do think by Wednesday is when we are looking at drier conditions and definitely the hottest and most oppressive conditions so far. Today, of course, is already going to be strong enough, but Wednesday should be kicking it up to the actual temperature range of the mid-90s, 105 across probably most of the area. We'll see if the National Weather Service does issue another heat advisory for most of our counties, which at this point I think is pretty likely. And then the next couple of days afterwards, Thursday through Sunday, gradually starting to cool down, but still very humid all the while. And as we do get some relief, that is going to correlate with some higher rain chances. So definitely seeing some trade-offs here, either very hot and humid and dry, or wet with just a little more tolerability for those conditions. Overall, an interesting June forecast.